My alarm went off and it stopped recording. Hello everyone, welcome back. I know it has been a very long time since I've been here. Since the last time I was here, things have been crazy. And I'm gonna get into that. While I'm also going to be filming an eye look that I have been kind of obsessed with lately. I did it once to see if I could do it, and I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy that I can actually do something like this, so we're going to get into it. Okay. So, I'm kind of debating, because given the light of recent events, I no longer support this person, even though I never really did. But, this is the palette we're going to be using. Yeah. I have my own thoughts and opinions on this person right here. That will be an entirely different time to talk about it. But, what we are going... There's dirt on my couch. But what we're going to do is we're going to get our eye base done. So, now I don't remember if I had mentioned this in my first makeup tutorial, because I don't remember how I primed my lids then. But what I've been doing lately is using the Milk Hydro Grip and a concealer. Now, a lot of beauty, like makeup artists and shit, will tell you, don't use concealer, don't use concealer. But I have found that using this under my concealer, it works for me. Now, everybody has different eyelids. Everybody's got different levels of oiliness. So we're going to slap that right on there. And don't get it in my eyebrows. Okay, so I'm just using this as a mirror. We're not using this one today. Okay, so going along with this little duder, the man behind the palette, I ended up watching like drama channels, and I watched his apology video, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, did you learn nothing after Bye Sisters? Did you literally learn nothing? Or do you just think you're absolutely immune to everything? Because that's disgusting. It's almost kind of like the Shane Dawson thing all over again. Which that I'm not getting into. Okay. I gotta find my brush. Brush. Okay. So now what I do while the primer is actually setting and like drying down a bit, put a little bit of concealer on the back of my hand. And I take the M410. It's just a nice reflection. Just a nice flat top brush. And what I do is, I want to make sure you guys can see this while I can still see it, is I sit there and kind of go like this, just as a rough outline, and then take that brush and just clean up my brows just a little bit. And then with whatever little bit of concealer I have left over, I just blend that down. Kind of like that. Just makes the line under your brow just a little bit cleaner. Now I have I've been practicing a lot on making my eyebrows look better. I always thought that I was good at it, but then looking back at the 2018 brows that I had, ugh, cringy. So cringy. Now, this method of priming and cutting out your brows, if you guys have your own techniques, feel free to do so. This is just what I have discovered that works for me. Hello. Okay, so we're gonna finish cutting out this brow like so, like that. Except there's a little bit of patchiness right there because I did not have enough concealer. Okay. And if you guys were curious, this is the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer. It is in the shade C7. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sponge. Unfortunately, I was very unprepared for this, so I did not wet my sponge. But we're just going to take the rest of the concealer that was on the back of your hand, and we're just going to blend it all over the rest of our lid. And very carefully take the tip of the sponge and try and blend the concealer that you put right under your brows. That was ladylike. And this looks spoopy. Okay. So now we're just going to take a tiny bit more concealer and add just a couple more dots, and then I'm going to do that. There's probably some actual makeup artists out there that are kind of cringing, like, why would you ever use concealer? And I'm like, this is what works for me, honey. It lasts. Okay. But we're going to sit there and we're just going to blend out the rest of it. And don't worry if it gets like under your eyes. That actually will be slightly useful. Okay. So now that this is all blended out, I know this looks ridiculous. Trust the process. You have to trust the process. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to take Magic Star Concealer or any... This is setting powder. That's not concealer. You can take whatever setting powder that you use. And we're just going to take like some sort of fluffy brush, pick some up, and we're going to set the concealer. Okay. And then we're going to set over here as well. Okay. We're looking A-okay. And for anybody that was curious, I have the setting powder in the shade beige. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Obviously, this is my favorite part. So, I'm still not happy that his name is on the palette, or he is the person behind the palette. The only reason I bought it is because I really wanted to play around with some colors. I do not support James Charles. I don't support like his actions because honestly I think it's disgusting. It really, really is disgusting. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Okay. So I do not remember any of these shade names because that's the one thing I always hated about this palette is the shade names were on like a piece of plastic. I didn't care for that. I would rather have it like this Jaclyn Hill palette where the names are under the shades. This one don't have that. So what we are going to do is we are going to take this color right here. If y'all know the shade names, then you know what ones I'm talking about. I'm just going to say that color right there. So we're going to take just a little, almost like a pencil brush. And we're going to dip in there. Tap off a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this color and we're going to pack it in our C area and bring it all the way to about right here. It's going to look crazy at first, but you have to trust the process. Trust me. So like I said, we're going to take that shade right there and we're going to pack it. Pack it right there. And I'm going to scooch you guys in just a little bit closer so you guys can see me. Hopefully when we get a new house and move out of this fucking apartment, hopefully I will have my own beauty set up and we'll make everything a little bit better. But right now we're working with what we got. Sorry. So, like I said, we're going to take that purplish color. We're going to pack it right along like your crease. Right up until about there. We are going to blend that out so it doesn't just like stop right there. But right now we just need to pack on the color. Kind of like that. Okay. And we're just going to blend that. Kind of like that. So like it's not quite as harsh. But I mean, we're going to end up cutting the crease anyways. And that's really not going to matter. So I'd say that's about good. And then now, honestly, when it comes down to like packing a dump truck just backed into my driveway. Kind of weird. But on the topic while we're here, I have not uploaded since August. I know. There has been a bunch of different reasons why, and no, they're not really excuses because I've easily could have just sat down and filmed anyway. The main thing is, like, I have been uninspired. I have been feeling very uninspired. But I wore eyeshadow to work from, actually, it's the same palette that I used for my very first makeup tutorial, the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I wore that to work, and I had a couple coworkers say, like, hey, like, why don't you try blue? So I took the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette and I made a look. And they're like, oh, well, can you do green? And it kind of just went to like a, like almost like a request a color kind of thing. So that has been helping me get back into feeling creative. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems like I've tried sitting down and filming at least 6 times in the past 2 months alone. And I'd sit down and I'd lose interest. I know that sounds really sad, but like, I don't know what was going on with me. But we're here now, bish. Okay. So now we are going to take a fluffy brush. This is the M535. And we are going to dip into, okay, you can't do it that way, Kaylee. We're going to dip into this orange shade right here. And we're actually going to take that and blend it right on the edge of the purple and blend it up a little bit to create like an ombre effect. So we're going to like, you see how it's kind of like an ombre effect? Okay. Okie dokie. Now, let me see here. And now we're going to dip into this obnoxious yellow shade. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with that orange, but we're going to do it with the yellow on top of the orange. But on the topic of, like, what has happened since I was last here, I got engaged, you guys. Ain't that fucking crazy? Like, it came out of nowhere. Like, I was just like, okay, well, he said that he wanted to get a house first, you know, yada, yada, yada. And then it was like 2 days after this past Thanksgiving, and then just bam. And I was just like, holy shit. But the frick did I just do? Okay. And the yellow, the brush that I'm using for the yellow is the JS5 from his brush collection. Now, I know how some people feel about Jeffree. I really do. He's not the best person in the world, but I think a majority of us can agree he makes some good makeup. And I agree. Okay. Now, hold on, I gotta find my brush. Aha, I found it. Okay, so now we are going to cut the crease. Now, I have had the hardest time trying to learn like a proper technique, how to do it, or, you know, just how to do it in general. So what I learned is take a flat brush, and what you're going to do is dab it as close to your lash line as you can. Okay. Now, if you want to know how high you go up, this is what you do. You look down and open your eyes real wide. Do you see where it made an imprint right there? That's where you're going to cut your crease to. Just a neat little trick. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pretty much just pat the concealer. Probably over till about right towards the end of your lash line right there. And then you're going to do the same thing over here. Okay. Now we're going to go back in with a small brush. We're going to take that first initial shade that we went in with. Actually, no. I almost fucked up. We're going to take a little bit of translucent powder, or in my case, beige powder, and we are going to set the concealer. The only reason I set the concealer is I notice if I try putting eyeshadows over it, it becomes 10 times darker than it was initially supposed to be, and it just looks muddy. So like I said, we're going to go back in with the initial purple shade, and we are going to start stamping it on the concealer. So sorry, I had to burp. Kind of like that. Now don't worry about the lines being too harsh. We'll take care of that in a minute. And you're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously. Now, my brushes are so disorganized, it's not even funny. Oh, let me see. Okay. I'm gonna dip into the orange. And stamp it right there in the middle. Now, this is where I run into a problem with the palette. The color doesn't want to stick. And it's only the orange shadow that wants to do this. You know, some days it's the orange that doesn't want to stick, and some days it's the orange and yellow that don't want to stick. And today, only on this eye, the orange does not want to stick. So. Okay, then we're going to take preferably a brush with no dog hair on it. And we're going to dip into the yellow and stamp it right in the inner corner. Okay. Now, at this point, you could very easily stop. But I want to pop a color. So I'm going to take this blue right here. And I'm going to run this right under my lash line. And I'm sorry if I make stupid faces when I'm trying to like get under my lash line, or I'm like putting on like bottom mascara. I'm like, eh. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, why do I do that? Okay. Sorry if you guys can't see this very well. I'm also sorry if I'm not talking too much. Hold on. Okay. No, typically when it comes down to like mascara, eyeliner, if it's like my lower lash line, I really want to have time to focus, and I want to like force myself to focus. You know what I mean? So. Okay. So now we're going to go in with some eyeliner. First I'm going to do my lower lash line liner. Has it seriously been foggy this entire time and all I have to do is just wipe up? You know what? I'm not changing it and I'm not refilming. Okay. Now comes... Did y'all see that? My eyeliner just went whoop. Hey, I didn't wear any though. Okay. Focus. I already fucked up. Okay, it's not too bad then. Okay, that liner's a little bit more dramatic than I would have liked it to be, but we're gonna roll with it. Not the best, but we're gonna have to work with it today. Close enough. Okay, so now we're gonna go in. I have personally been obsessed with this mascara. She's a little on the pricey side for me getting it at Walmart, but it is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High. For one, you can't really see that because I'm mirroring light, but this is fucking cute. And we're just going to obviously just apply it. Okay. See that? My alarm went off and it stopped recording. But yeah, the eyeshadow, or the mascara brush touched my eyeball and it did that. So yeah, minus that, this is pretty much it. Typically I would throw on like a pair of lashes, but honestly, I'm not feeling lashes today. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas on what you guys would like to see me do or see me try, or have any like ideas for content, I am feeling creative again. Like, I really do want to get back into the swing of, you know, filming and creating again, hopefully without, you know, the mascara mishap happening again. But yeah, just let me know what you guys want to see, and hopefully it won't be almost a year again before you see me again. But I will catch you guys on the flip side, and have a good day.